Okay, let's talk about surveys. We love rankings. ESPN, of course, has done survey after survey where they ask general managers, the team officials, to rank certain positions. And yesterday, I think we talked about quarterbacks and linemen, or maybe it was Tuesday.
Interior linemen.
Yeah, interior linemen. Let's now look at the recent rankings from this same survey on running backs. They have Derrick Henry at 1. I don't know that anybody's really going to pick fault with the top 5. Maybe you can move the order around a little bit. Yeah. But these are the guys. I mean, there's a group of 5 that separate themselves from everyone else. And I think, am I missing anybody here, guys, or is there someone there that doesn't belong? To me, that's top 5 off the board in fantasy.
If I disagree
I know you want to sneak somebody in. You don't like where 6 is at, do you? Bull.
No, I got no problem with you. No, if anything, I might have Joe Mixon lower.
I was going to say, I think Mixon's a little high.
I'm honest about my own players. I think Joe Mixon's in a good spot.
Maybe McCaffrey's low because of his injury.
He's missed 2 years.
Right.
He hasn't played much in the last 2 years. Javonte Williams, I'm surprised, is up there. He's a great talent, but he was a rookie last year and split carries, so I don't know why. Najee Harris should not be in the top 10. He's not a top 10 back, in my opinion.
No.
That's my beef. No, I think the top 5 is right. I don't know if I'd have it in that order.
Anyone outraged that Chubb is 3?
You can't really. I don't think you can complain too much.
I would argue he should be 2.
You would?
Yeah, like
I mean, Jonathan Taylor was the best back last year.
insane.
I mean, he was the best back in the league last year.
I think you got to take in consideration when you watching Chubb, you got to think about it. He's never even had 300 carries in a year. I mean, this guy's teetering around 260, 270. He's not getting 300 carries a year. And by the way, he's averaging over 5 yards a crack. And he shares time with Kareem Hunt. To me, if you put Nick Chubb in an offense that Derrick Henry's getting them touches, or the touches that Taylor is getting, he'd have the same amount of production. That's why I'm interested in seeing what he's going to do this year when they're going to be running the ball without Deshaun Watson.
If you go yard per carry, he'd have more production.
Yeah, he did have 298 carries in 2019. The other 3 years, he's not had more than 228. Now, some of that is, he's missed some time the last couple of years.
Injuries, yeah.
But
also, it's the way Stefanski chooses to use him. It's almost like he's just trying to keep both guys fresh for the fourth quarter.
I mean,
it's Chubb for a series, it's Hunt for a series.
Nick Chubb gets
never both of them together.
His carries per game is not exceptionally low. I mean, he gets his
How
carries
many
per
did he
game.
have last year, though?
Carries. So he had just
He's
carries.
never had more than 228. Except for the 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
He had 228 last year in 14 games. So what's 228 divided by 14?
That's crazy.
Yeah, for me, that's low. For a back like him, who can be a workhorse back, I want to see him touch the ball more often than that.
That's 16 and a third carries per game.
Or 4 per quarter, Bull.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's
here's
enough.
The thing. Now, you could argue, and I'll just to play devil's advocate, and I don't agree with the point I'm about to argue, but you could argue that part of the reason he's so good is because he's fresher than some of these other guys.
And he's got a backup who could be a starter in this place.
However, I think Nick Chubb is one of the few backs in the league. I do think Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and I think Joe Mixon is definitely one of these guys too, is they get better the more they carry. I think the elite backs get better. And now Alvin Kamara is a great back, and whoever was number 4 on that list,
I already forgot. I'm like a gold
Dalvin Cook, number 5.
Dalvin Cook. Those guys not as much, but Chubb, Taylor, Henry, Mixon, those 4 guys in particular.
Well, the ability
they get
to catch
better the more they
passes
touch the
out
ball.
of the backfield plays into this.
Yes.
Because they're more versatile, I think.
I also think they could very well be extending Chubb's career. He's going to last longer than Derrick Henry because of the way that they're using him. And, I think part of the sharing, and it drove me crazy too, I put on Twitter every Sunday, there's no such thing as too much Chubb.
Yeah.
More Chubb, the better.
It's 100%.
But they're trying to save him for end of season, which last year there was no need. They didn't make the playoffs.
No, that's right.
And again, this list is not made by ESPN. It's coaches, scouts, executives that compile this.
But I think that they're extending his life shelf and his longevity, which they just signed him to a long-term deal.
And he'll probably sign another one because he likes it here and stuff too, and they know that.
I mean, let's wait and see how much
What's
tires,
interesting about that
left
theory,
on the
though,
tires.
because the NFL for the last probably 2 decades has operated under the premise that a running back's going to get 5 years. And so I understand that you would like to extend his shelf life and maybe get 7 or 8 really productive years. But to me, in history, the truly elite backs, the Emmitt Smiths, those guys had long careers. They were just good.
Yeah.
They were good enough to stick around into their
Adrian
30s.
Peterson, same
And,
thing.
and,
Well,
I'm-
but
and
they're-
Adrian Peterson. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Stayed in
Chubb.
shape.
I can give you Todd Gurley, who was phenomenal, is out of football now
Well,
at a young age.
they ran his breaks
Sean
off,
Alexander, another guy,
I
was
mean,
a great player.
go
MVP
look
and
at
he
how
was out
they
of the league.
used him.
Georgia, and then Georgia, hey, Todd Gurley was getting the ball every play. at Georgia.
Every play he was involved
Yeah.
in and so I think there's two extremes.
Yeah.
There's too much use and too little. I'd like to see a happy medium. Let's split the difference and use them how most teams are using premier
do you
backs.
think they see Ezekiel Elliott as a cautionary tale? Because he's kind of fallen off.
He hasn't been the same player.
No, he
and
was banged
has
up
had
last
some
year, but
injuries.
still.
Yeah.
But look, this is a position that gets injured. They could try to limit his carries to extend his career, and he could still have a devastating injury on any one of his carries. I mean, you're spinning the wheel every time you go on the football
And
field.
this is a case for me. Go back to that one graphic. Let me just show you this real quick. When you talk about elusiveness, backs take L's because they get hit a lot, right? They're the only position that either they're going to get tackled or
There's your
fall
tag
around.
board.
There's the tag board.
Tag board. Oh, it's like a new show.
Yeah, it does.
Is this
Yeah.
Lucasfilms?
If you look at that, you got Kareem Hunt at
What
number
is the
2.
definition, by the way?
He's not elusive. He seeks contact.
But
He tries to hit guys.
But see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's he's so you just see him touching people. When Pro Football Focus really watches this, the first defender never tackled Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. They never get tackled by the first guy.
No.
There's always one guy that the back has to beat.
Yep.
Now, when you look at it, I look at Kareem Hunt and I say, I like him better than Najee Harris. To me, Kareem Hunt is a top 10 back playing for any other team.
Yeah, no doubt.
Top 10.
No doubt.
Now-
he doesn't make the list because he hasn't carried the
Because
ball
he doesn't
much.
carry
Yeah.
the rock. But if you look at it, and Dearness Johnson is a starting running back. At least
At
a one.
worst, he's a quality number 2.
And
At
so you
worst.
got all three of these guys in the backfield, and I just keep waiting for it, Kevin Stefanski. Listen, man, this is an opportunity for you to look like the second coming of ground Chuck Noll. You can get creative. I wouldn't even mind seeing some Wildcat or something. These three dudes are that dynamic. I would say that the Browns have 2 running backs inside the top 10. 2.
Yeah.
Now,
We're going
legitimately.
to talk about that in just a second, but before we move on from the Chubb and the evaluations, McNuggets, if you can, throw the comment on the screen. This is from one AFC player who voted Chubb number 1. Contact, balance, explosion through the line, and usually his tape gets better throughout the year. He was born to run the football.
Yeah.
I think that's a really accurate description
Yeah,
of what this guy
absolutely.
does.
Yeah.
By the way, Chubb has never, even the year he had 298 carries, he averaged 18.62 a game. He's never averaged more than that per game.
That's crazy.
18.6 carries per game.
That's crazy.
But there's not that many backs that average 20 carries anymore.
Now, but you know what?
Yeah.
That was the most he averaged in a season.
That was the most.
Use your calculator
Yeah.
and tell me what he's averaged for his career. I bet it's going to be closer to 14.
Yeah, I mean, well, the rookie year's not fair because remember when he first started playing, they had
know.
Carlos Hyde. He wasn't playing a lot. But
Oh, I know.
in the
forgot
last
about
3
that.
years combined, he's averaged about somewhere in the 17s. The last 3 years, he's averaged about 17
I just want.
change.
He's not.
If you
you're-
take the rookie year, it'll probably knock it down to like 15.
right, but
Yeah.
to me, he's a premier back, and I
He
don't
is,
think
no
you can
doubt.
show me another premier back in history who's averaged 15 carries a game.
I'd like to. I agree with you all. I would like to see him average 22 carries.
I'd be interested.
great number.
I'd be
Yeah.
interested to see what the offense is when Deshaun Watson gets here. Like, how many carries is he going to get, or is it just going to be shotgun? Stefanski is happy with the throw it everywhere.
Number one, there's one ball.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this top 5 quarterback that they're bringing in. And you have to throw the ball to win in the
Right.
NFL. And that's what gets overlooked. I looked it up. I could find it if you give me a minute. It's bonkers. Teams that average over 8 yards a carry over the last however many years are like 12 and 12. Like, it doesn't guarantee you anything.
Right.
But if you throw it for, I think it was 12 yards per pass, you're like 32 and 1.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, throwing the ball will win you games in the NFL.
you do.
It's almost
Throwing
like the
successfully.
NFL is now a passing league.
And is that, but even,
true? I saw that coming.
But as good as Nick Chubb is,
Yeah.
And I'm a proponent every Sunday. Give him the ball more. It doesn't guarantee you anything in the NFL anymore to run the ball successfully. You have to throw the ball to win.
No, but what they can do now with Watson when he plays is they're going to get a bunch of leads because he's going to be really good, and then you wear the game out by
Well,
running down
ideally,
the
I
stretch.
think that's what their plan all along
Right, right,
was.
right.
It looks like that is the
Yeah.
plan.
Plus, Watson's going to run a lot more than Baker ran, so there's some carries there.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about, because you touched on it, the collective talent in the Browns running back room. And as you look around the league, I don't think, to me, there's no argument that the Browns have the most talented running back room in the NFL. But I think for this discussion, let's move it to all the position groups in the NFL. Is there, guys, a more talented position group on any team in the NFL than the Browns running back core?
Bengals receivers might be there. Bengals receivers are very good.
Bengals kicking
they are tremendous.
team.
I think it would be hard to compare like a quarterback room because most teams don't have a.
No, I mean,
but if you talk about skill position rooms,
you can even go like defensive linemen.
Yeah,
there are teams that have an abundance of, an embarrassment of riches at that position.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Certainly, the Bengals wide receiving group is right there as well.
Washington Commanders defensive line. They got a lot of people up front with Sweat.
But they weren't as good last year as they were the year before.
The
Niners defensive line
Niners
is
defensive
really
line,
good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Carolina QB room. Right? Now.
Now the Baker's
I mean, they
there,
have 2 top 5 picks at quarterback.
There you go.
Can you imagine? They've got a 1 and a 3 from the same draft. And neither was drafted by that team.
Go get Rosen. Go get Rosen.
We need a counter at the bottom of the screen for the subliminals that Mike hit on. Like, that's 2 in a row. He got 2 subliminals I like to do.
I'm actually surprised that none of you, first of all, were mad that Eckler wasn't on there. I thought you guys would get
I do like Eckler. He should be on
good.
there. He's much better than
but
Najee Harris. I would take Harris off and put
But of
Eckler
course,
in there.
what we think is almost irrelevant, as you know. It's what the internet thinks about this Nick Chubb situation that matters. Mikey, do we have the internet reacting to this?
Nice work.
We do, and anytime we bring you internet comments, we bring the comments to you from PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio.
Just the best.
All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus get full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers. To learn more, Steve, let's take the first one. These are some reactions to just Nick Chubb as an
Tag board
overall
reactions?
monster, an overall beast, and yes.
We have tag board reactions.
Tag board reactions here. This is from Nick Carnes. There were just 7 running backs who crossed the 1,000-yard rushing mark in 2021. Nick Chubb had the fewest attempts of all 7 backs while finishing as the NFL's second leading rusher. Elite, efficient, and electric.
I particularly enjoy that picture. Where the Bengals are just swinging
You'll love
in
the
air.
next one.
Yeah,
then.
I could watch that a lot.
Nick Carnes got the best Browns tweet. He be having all kind of Browns tweets with numbers in them and stuff.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
We need to hire him as an associate researcher.
By that, we mean you should do it for free.
Tag board. Live
We
video.
can show gifts within tag board. Look at this technological advancement. This was just a response to the ESPN article saying, Nick Chubb's
That was an
Anytime
awesome
we can put this GIF
moment.
on TV, we put this GIF on
That's
TV.
what we call in the hood the 5-finger discount.
I could watch that over and over.
Me too.
We are right now watching it over and
Thank
over.
you, tag board.
We should just play that in the corner of the screen for the whole entire show.
It was very cathartic.
He's getting lifted. Look at him. He's
Both feet are off the
and
ground at the same time.
I mean, how humiliating is that for a defensive
As
player?
a grown man,
Oh
both
my
of your
God.
feet are never supposed to be off the ground at the same time.
My
Ever.
God.
Not if somebody else's hand is in your face.
Yeah,
that's the worst time both feet can be off the ground.
Nick Chubb, who doesn't seem like an angry guy, took out a lot of anger on this gentleman.
Gracious.
Can you put this back to back with the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph interaction?
You know what? Throw Turkey Joe Jones dropping Terry Bradshaw on his
Exactly.
head,
Mix
too.
it up.
You got the trifecta of Steelers hurt.
And we have one more here. This is a Steve Becker nomination. It has nothing to do with Nick Chubb, but it was funny. The Cleveland Browns spent 23 seasons trying to find one player that could change the culture, one guy to lift us up from the depths of despair. We found that guy for the first time since 1999, won our first playoff game since 1994, but then threw him away. Thank you, Andrew Sendejo. And I think you spelled Sendejo wrong.
Yeah, you did. Well, that makes the tweet
The premise
even better.
is even better because it's not spelled
was
right.
awful
On
here.
my show, The Barbershop, we refuse to even mention his name. His name is number 23.
Oh, he was awful.
He was bad. And that's disparaging number 23.
Yeah, right.
Which
It was
has
just-
a certain meaning in
Yeah.
sports.
He was taking a lot of heat from us because I think we were just like, what can we aim this fury at?
Yeah.
Oh, Sendejo, we hate you. I think that's what happened to him.
He got
Bad
so
timing.
much playing time too. He was just like on everything. I think they even played special team. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
He just.
I loved his effort, but so often the guy was just in the wrong place.
Yeah, I think the peroxided hair didn't help. I feel like the image, like he's an easy guy to like look at.
That's
and
usually
hate.
a phase you go through, like in junior high.
Yep.
And
Not
he
him.
carried it into the NFL.